And good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Steam for Wednesday, September 27th. I'm Ramon Scott coming to you from the sports betting capital of the world, Las Vegas. Get ready for another day of sports betting action. First on YouTube, first with previews live of today's game, starting the programming here for your favorite shows on the channel, including midday picks coming up at 1 Eastern, 10 Pacific, and the drive-through with Tony and the Pick Dogs crew, 6 Eastern and 3 Pacific. And we'll get you started here and let you know what's going on in Major League Baseball pennant races. That's where it stands today, I would think, certainly as a featured attraction today. How'd your team do last night? Not just your bets. How you looking with your teams in the postseason? Saw some jostling a little bit. We'll see what happens today. We got that big doubleheader that we're still trying to figure out a little bit on. I think we're getting it a little bit more clear maybe by the end of the hour or so that we'll be here or two. I'm going to have some football previews as well, but we'll talk about Major League Baseball, pretty much every game except for maybe the Royals and the Tigers, and get you picks for those as well. Tony's got his baseball up already as well, so you can compare them to mine. We'll see if I agree or disagree, or if we have a consensus with our chat. Thanks for coming in, everybody. Want to get your picks today on the chat at least, and on the screen. See what you guys have in today's big games coming up. So a little bit of daytime action, but interesting with a Wednesday card. I mean, it's really night heavy. Haven't seen that in weeks and weeks and weeks. Could be a result of the schedule. Will we get some big time games on Sunday, or will we fizzle out a little bit here down the stretch? Feels like something's going to be up for grabs. I don't know if I'm getting, overwhelmed like some people as far as, will there be multiple things? Maybe there will. Say hello to some folks and then get over to, we got Blake and we've got Dre. And we saw the Phillies wrap it up last night, and that'll be an interesting game to talk about today because, the Phillies, they were probably going to be pretty significant favorites today, but maybe they had a little bit too much drinky last night. We'll probably fade them today. Sounds like they had a pretty good time partying it up with their wild card. Might as well. I mean, these are professional baseball players and all. We'll just celebrate every little victory. Anything for a good beer, champagne of beer in the clubhouse. Hello to Mike as well. Yeah, hope we do keep everything balanced here. Appreciate you guys commenting and want to get your picks as well. Let's go over to Tony'sPicks.com and take a look at who did what yesterday here on the website. I was the leading handicapper yesterday, 3-0 record, the top of the charts. Probably was in there with a heavy volume and did pretty well, 60% yesterday. Mindy's up there as well, 75%. Joseph Schultz, Collins Brown won their only play. Nick Vartini, 67%, and Nick Lagaretto, 60% yesterday. Over the last week, I'm on top of the handicapper leaderboard, 17 2/3 units of profit. Nick Lagaretto's up over 700. Hollywood Sam's up a nickel. Nick Vartini's up $3. And over the last 30 days, Collins Brown, what a month it's been for Collins, up 25 units over the last 30 days. I can't keep up. I'm just at 1478 over the last 30 days. Tony T up there is at a brilliant 50 days or so right now, 1,200 units. And Nick Vartini up 10.5 units as well. So please go to our website, Tony'sPicks.com, if you're interested in our premium picks. I'm going to hopefully give you some winners here up and down the network today. Free picks from the crew at Tony's Picks website and YouTube channel, because that's what we do here on the channel, is give you free sports picks live and recorded, and deliver those picks our professional handicappers here from Tony's Picks. Check out the Premium Picks tab and scroll down. You'll find our 3-packs. We're also introducing the props apparently here very, very shortly, and have those up and available from our crew. So be on the lookout for that. Appear here apparently in the Premium Picks tab. Nick Martini's got a 3-pack up there. Here's the $15 plays today from Daniel Walasachuk and Joseph Schultz. And best bets from the crew, including Nick Lagarettos today. So use the promo code TonyT at checkout to save 20% off all premium pick packages. I'll have some premium picks up there. You can best believe it with my current winning streak right now. So, hey, if you're doing good like Mike or the rest of the crew, have at it, please. Hopefully we give you some good information too to get you started off. That's what we try to do here is give late breaking information, kind of get those line moves, those late pitching situations that we're waiting on. And if not, you can trust me to have at least a great handicap, get some pretty clear, concise information in my releases as well. And all of our picks from all of our handicappers are guaranteed here at Tony's Picks, meaning if you purchase our recommendations and they don't produce a profit on that day, you will be refunded in credits to use with that handicapper or another handicapper if you want to try someone else. And in turn, you'll always have a winning experience here at Tony's Picks. So, all right, hello to Matt as well. We'll get started with this card. I'm trying to buy some time here a little bit and to see if we couldn't get more information about the card. But maybe we could start with the daytime action that's going to occur with the Diamondbacks and the White Sox. Get this one for you. I wanted to kind of get this one updated actually, and then we'll get started with Brandon Pfaadt here today, because I did see a little bit of movement here in this game on the total. It looks like for Pfaadt on the road, the Diamondbacks minus $1.60, and the total here is 9.5 under 20. Of course, we know it's an important game for the Diamondbacks. They looks like they mean business right now after yesterday's performance, right? They really smashed, scoring a bunch of runs yesterday in the win. Here we go. All right. So yesterday, the big win for the Diamondbacks. They scored 15 runs to crush it yesterday. We gave it out on the show. Kind of want to maybe consider the White Sox here just because of the, I don't know if the pitching matchup is as solid. Look, we can make fun of Zach Davies, but I think against Jose Urena, we just made it clear yesterday that we were kind of looking to, Urena has been, hadn't cashed for any of his teams all year, really hadn't pitched very much all year, and really his career is over. Just picking up some innings here at the end of the season. I can't see much happening for Urena moving forward. But in this one today with Pfaadt and Patino, got Pfaadt coming in with 7.79 ERA in his last 4 starts. He's 1-3. Arizona's lost 9 of his last 13 starts. Arizona's done a great job here down the stretch. That's why they're in the position that they're in. They've won 7 of their last 9 games to, basically hold a pretty good grasp. It's not, we talk about how close these races are. We're down to 4 teams in the National League, no doubt. And Arizona's at the top of that group. Philadelphia clinched the wild card berth. They're the number 1. They're locked in. From there, you've got Arizona right now a game ahead of the wild card spot of the Cubs, and the Cubs are in. So if it ended today, we'd be talking about Arizona and the Cubs in there, with Miami's a half a game back, and they have a game in an extra game to play basically with this doubleheader today. So that's makes that situation significant. Cincinnati, they're holding on. They're holding on. We'll give them a little bit of credit yesterday for their smashing win as well. So these motivation situations are super important and can't be overlooked in these games. I just feel like Arizona, this could be, I don't know, $1.60 actually starting to pique my interest a little bit. I wanted to come in on the White Sox, and maybe this price is actually still going to keep me on Arizona. Like I said, they look good, smashing right now. White Sox have actually won 4 of their last 8 games. That's pretty good. That's probably like their best run of the season, it feels like. Did they have a winning streak at all during the year? White Sox have gone under in 10 of their last 15 games. Arizona's been a pretty solid over team. However, with Pfaadt, despite his pretty gaudy numbers, he has gone under in 12 of his 17 games that he's pitched. So maybe a chance that this game could stay under this high number, but let's just take the Diamondbacks again. I think $1.60 is that. Do I have the right price on there, you guys? I thought I had $1.80. Okay, $1.60. That's getting pretty good motivation here, and the White Sox, have not pretty easy. I feel pretty square. I'm trying to find any way. I was trying to find any way at all to come on. Maybe even a $1.80 could get me on the White Sox, but I don't think $1.60 can. Hello to Lazzy as well, and Ray. Hello. So that's what we'll do. With that, I'll take the Diamondbacks again. We went with them on the show yesterday. Why don't we do so again here today? All right. The Tampa Bay Rays taking on the Boston Red Sox. We know Tampa Bay has a motivation situation here, definitely. I think it paid off yesterday in a wild game that ended up being a 9-7. And Tampa Bay did get the win. A precarious situation for Tampa Bay, right? Well, not Tampa, but they're not motivated. That's right. They're 10 games up in the wild card. Keep thinking that their game would be significant because of their race with the Orioles, but it just feels like it's slipping away. So I'm not sure. I mean, you could consider them to be motivated, but you saw with what Dre was saying in the chat already. I mean, Baltimore, they know their magic number. So with a 2.5 game lead, that is not a lot, but just 5 days, it's a lot. It's going to take a lot. So there definitely is motivation for the Rays here in this game to get it done, and the price is okay as well. I kind of want to trust Bello again here, but Glasnow certainly makes it a tough contest. Take a look at some of the numbers here. Glasnow, 5.72 ERA in his last 5 starts, and Tampa Bay's lost 5 of 9. Maybe they are feeling comfortable in their wild card position. Bello has struggled of late with an 8 ERA over his last couple of starts. Boston, of course, has lost 18 of their last 25 games. So I think I can trust Tampa here as a road favorite. Gosh, I want to take some of these dogs, some of these spoilers, but I'm just not sure I can right now. I think the price is just still giving me enough motivation. Tampa's got to know, they still have a chance. I mean, they do obviously know. And I'm not saying everyone is going to be based here on the motivation. I don't want to just broad brush it. And let's see, Mike says he had Tampa yesterday, so maybe not today. My computer printout says take Boston. Computer printout does not take into account. I don't have an algorithm, a thing that I can punch in that says which team is going to which team is playing for a playoff berth. We know Tampa's in. But they're still playing for a division title. There's just maybe enough motivation. So $1.20, and I might be okay with this price. Burley's on Boston today. He's trying to keep it real. Rays going over. So I wanted to consider certainly Boston. I mean, losing 18 of 25 is also a pretty big concern. Like I said, Bello has been great. He's been great to us. We've done well backing Bello. He's Dominican. I forget how it is, but nonetheless, 8 ERA in his last 2 starts is also troubling. So Tampa was able to bust it out yesterday, still get 9 runs on the road here in a typical Wrigley kind of slugfest. So nothing I can do about it, Mike. If it's a trap, it's a trap. I mean, a trap, it'll have, I'm trapped. I'm in the trap. Need someone, to come get out of the trap. Someone with a phone and, help the wild animal out of the trap because he's been trapped again. So I'll try it. I'm computing all the numbers to me say this is a good spot. Taking Boston here, yeah. You wish you were getting a bigger price, and again, it could be a little bit built in that maybe the situation is the Orioles, the Rays can feel a little bit like they're not going to get there. They're not going to get there for the division title. They still can. All right, let's take a look at the Reds and the Guardians. The Reds did wow. They fell behind. They came back, did a great job yesterday to get the win over the Guardians. We gave it out in the Discord yesterday, the Reds, and here with Abbott going up against Bieber, showing Bieber $1.25, 7.5 over 20, and rising right now. This one has been on the move. It's been steamed already. Might even be seeing some 8s out here. I want to check this out with Cincinnati and Cleveland. Yeah, you got the Square Book at 8. You got some Vegas books at 8. Looks like some of the offshores and some of the big U.S. online books are still at 7.5. In this one, look, there were 18 runs scored yesterday in this game. I thought it'd be a low-scoring game, but why was that? Was Lucas Giolito was pitching. What was I thinking? Yeah, I was high on Green, and Green, I wasn't looking too swift early. But the Reds came through. Thank you, Thomas, for stopping in, and like it, smash it, share it. Sounds like a 1990s pop song. All right, let's take a look with the Reds here and the Guardians. Usually the Guardians, some of these home favorite roles, they have been, considerably under, and the Guardians have gone under in 4 of their last 6 games. Abbott's gone under in 13 of his 20 starts. Definitely has hit the wall. That's kind of what we're saying as he's been in this tailspin a little bit. Has Abbott hit the wall? And it looks like maybe we can make it official. About a 5.8 ERA in his last 5 starts. Been profitable all season, riding a lot with Abbott here. Bieber hasn't been good either down the stretch with a 7.31 ERA in his last 3 starts. The Guardians have lost 6 of their last 8 games. The Reds have lost 5 of 8, and that's been bad news because they are now a game and a half out of the wild card spot. Feels like every game is must win, but this is really, really crucial here for the Reds. They should have pretty much the proper motivation here. I don't know, maybe I am going to go the motivation angle on the whole card today. They got it done yesterday in a slugfest when they needed to. They've won 2 in a row when they've needed to. Unfortunately, remember, they have to pass 2 teams basically to get in. One being Miami. They're a game and a half back of the spot, but Miami's ahead of them, and of course Cubs and Arizona, who are in the playoff picture, ahead of them right now. So I'm playing the playoff motivation angle. Give me the professional athletes that have something to play for here with a pitcher that's had a good season against another pitcher that maybe is winding it down. I don't know, Bieber. I mean, I guess you'd trust him to continue on his career. I'm not kicking him out of the league or anything, but maybe with the full spring veteran arm, he'll be fine in the future. Still, he's got mileage left. Not dumping on him here in this game. I'm just going to take the younger arm, the motivated team, the Reds here. They're probably $1 plus $1.10 or $1.15 or so. And I imagine it might come in on the Reds here today. Burley says Reds and under. The Nationals are going to take on the Orioles in a battle here. The close rivals with Patrick Corbin going up against Grayson Rodriguez. Big favorites here for the Orioles. They're the ones that are in charge of the division. Just a little bit of motivation, but like I said, I think they can feel like they've got it. And quite frankly, they've got an easy matchup here, as we talked about yesterday. And we didn't get it right. We called for a run line victory, and they could only win 1-0. But good pitching again from Bradish. Orioles got to feel pretty good about the way the pitching has been moving forward here in this spot. I mean, they're going to have their work cut out for them, but they're still number one, so why not? Total here, 8 under 20, still in this one. So it kind of feels like it's still a high price, when you're talking about the type of effort that you got with Washington yesterday to stay in the game. And maybe this one I can be a little bit too high, and I feel like I couldn't trust them yesterday on the run line. I'll probably have to switch to the Nationals today after that. I mean, look, the Nationals have still done us well. Thomas says, give me Baltimore. So with Rodriguez, you still have, he's had a great season as far as what kind of expectations that you were going to get. Orioles have won 13 of his 22 starts, and he has a 3.12 ERA in his last 3 starts. Orioles are 7-3 in their last 10 games here down the stretch. And, it hasn't been great. Darren says he's on the under in this one. Hello to you. Corbin, a 4.24 ERA in his last 3 starts. I'm going to be on Washington here on the run line, plus a run and a half at probably even money or so, maybe even minus $1.05, $1.10. Gerardo, hello. Give us some soccer plays, maybe. I know that we got some. What do we got? La Liga today. What do we have? What else do we have? Italy or France? I'm trying, and some type of EFL Cup. Trying to look for. We've got this baseball. Should be enough excitement for the day, but the tennis wasn't too thrilling overnight. All right, so give me the Nationals in this one. How about the Pirates taking on the Phillies? We already talked about this one, kind of at the top of the show with the Phillies, right? They had a little too much beer, too much champagne, celebrating their wild card, so the lines went way down. We're on the Pirates, talking about motivations here. This is the oldest one in the book, and you're probably not going to get me off of it today. When they show when the team, I don't know what it was, a social media team, it films the, they're rolling in those trucks like they're taking it to the snack bar with rows and beers and champagne, trucks, and it's going to be a fun night. And now you got to come back here for not an early start, but when it starts there at 6:40. So forget about it. We're on the Pirates. Should be a premium, but Pirates are, don't have anything to play for either. So who knows what'll happen here? Probably sleepwalk through this game, 2-1. Anything could probably be premium on the under, but let's do it. Let's go Pirates and double play here. Pirates and under. Double freemium, it feels like to me. I love these situations. Too bad it's such a popular angle. Remember the Phillies, hey, if they would have lost last night, they'd be $1.60 here at least, if not higher. And I think this line's right. $1, it's like $1.15 at some spots. So you're not getting. It doesn't feel like you're getting the best price, but you're probably getting maybe a free square here with the Pirates. I'd just take the Pirates. Oviedo, don't slide on him as far as his accomplishments this season. I mean, 2.78 ERA in his last 6 starts. Pirates have won 7 of his 11 games, and Pirates have won 16 of their last 26. Suarez has been fine, but Phillies, they're on a roll, but they were pretty excited. And why not? All you got to do is get there. Thank you, guys, for the great soccer. Wow, I'm really is that all I got to do is ask, and I shall receive. So I might come in. I might find a premium. I mean, feeling pretty hot right now. As far as my hot streak, seems like I can't miss, but feels a little lucky too. Got a little lucky. Apologies if anybody else couldn't get the best, those best lines. We do try to send it out. I'll try to send it out the worst line, and we're just getting on some things at good prices, getting on them early. That's my job. Lousy on Milan. Ron's got the spreadsheet play. Maybe I can save that comment and bring it up when it's there, but you see it there in the chat. Lousy with more with Inter. Real Madrid. I feel like I'm feeling pretty square here. Gerardo, thank you. Oh my God, this is beautiful. Thank you, guys. I'm in the baseball segment, but you see all the soccer there. Wonderful. Appreciate that. All right, maybe Darren went under. Burley went Pirates. And, I might be involved. I might get fired up for some league soccer right now. I mean, just want to handicap everything. And now they're giving me some props on the site to tout my wares. Watch out. All right. Let's continue on here. We're on the Bucks. Make no mistake. Free, what are you going to do? These games are real, they're getting a little. We're looking for the best plays, right? We want to give out plays in every game. These are professional baseball players that sometimes I'll explain it a little bit, but usually they want to go out there and compete still. All right. Here are the Yankees with Garrett Cole. He still wants to go out there and compete going up against Berrios here. Yankees feel like an interesting spoiler opportunity here today against the Blue Jays, but the Blue Jays, what can you say about Toronto's efforts here down the stretch? Yeah, they lost yesterday in this one. And, we gave out the under. We pretty much said it was going to be just, lowest scoring pitchers. Ordered it up. Room service special on the show yesterday with this one, calling for a low scoring game. And it's going to be the same today, I'm sure. You got Garrett Cole right now. He's not going through the motions. He's just Garrett Cole. So he can go out here and rock it against Toronto today. He's got a 1.82 ERA in his last 6 starts. We know the Yankees, the writing's been on the wall for that long. So he's just going out here doing a great job right now. He's been terrific. And the Yankees have won every one of those starts. He's 4-0, but they've won all 6 of those games. Berrios, 2.88 ERA in his last 4 starts. Feels like an instant replay of last night's game, one way or the other. Last night, 2-0 Yankees with King, who we said on the show. King, I mean, he's looked good. poor Gausman, he does a good job, doesn't get run support, makes him look bad. I know they don't like him across the street, but I don't know. I don't know what his situation was. As far as Berrios, they've gone under with Berrios in 11 of his last 15 starts. So I'm taking the under in this one for sure. Not sure on the side today actually, but again, Yankees feel like a little bit of spoiler. With the headlines and the way it's come out here about trying just to get to 500. Is that enough motivation for a team? It doesn't seem like it to me. They only need one more win. It seems more like a joke if you're the Yankees. Yeah, you don't want to be that team, but what are you going to be really? Have you really been reduced to a line of copy in a sports almanac? If you know what one of those is, we talked about that yesterday. Last Yankees team to go under 500. Won't be this one. They'll win a game here. Might be today. I'll take the under for sure. But the Yankee, the headline writers, you know what they're saying in the post, and they're looking, to get to that 500. To avoid that. And Mike has all the algorithms to prove me correct when it comes to Yankees baseball. And for them to win, their 81st game on September the 27th, which is a primes of 9 and 81 games. You know what I'm saying? 9, 27, 81, and 81. Only a coincidence if the Yankees win tonight. Mike. All right. Only Mike and I don't understand. All right. Here we go. Marlins. Okay. We'll try to throw. Let me see if we can't get anything on this. See if we can get this pitcher situation right. See if we can get these lines right here. I'm just guessing. And that the total looks too high here for me. This, I believe, is game 1. With Cueto and Senga. Let me check 3 different sources right now, only because, if it was the middle of the season, you'd kind of just throw it and say, hey, it's a doubleheader or whatever. But this is huge. This is huge in terms of Major League Baseball and how it relates to the pennant race, of course, today. Because the Marlins, missing a game yesterday, having to play a doubleheader in itself is a pretty big inconvenience. Back in the day, even before, it was like the standard would be a ton of doubleheaders right at the end of the season. But I'm talking about the 50s. Okay, so the Marlins are half a game back right now of the Cubs for that last playoff spot, and they've got a doubleheader here against the Mets. And the pitching yesterday, we knew it was going to be Garrett and Lucchesi, but now it looks like we've flopped it up a little bit here, and maybe we're going to get Cueto and Senga. Now, if I see that matchup, I think I got the. I'm trying to let me see if the line's coming out yet. It's not. Anybody see a line? I don't. So, but I'm going to say that Senga, I would think, would be a pretty considerable favorite, even though the Mets have no motivation. Because, look, if the Marlins are going to throw out Johnny Cueto, love Johnny Cueto, love watching him pitch, love watching everything, but he's still Johnny Cueto, and this is not the best situation that the Marlins have right now. The pitching is broken down just a tiny bit here down the stretch. So they have to go with Johnny Cueto in this double. I mean, I guess there could be worse options. I don't know what they might be, but so Senga, because he's been so strong, he has to be a favorite in this game. I've seen some prices that look a lot. People are, have some prices out there, and it was much lower than this, and I just don't see it. So I would say, I'm going to change the total here. I feel like maybe it's going to be because of Senga and maybe the bats on the, could it be 8 over 20? Could it be 8 over 15? I'm going to say 8 over 20. Just feels like with Senga, you got to order it up a little bit lower. So I would say unless anybody has any objections or any suggestions in the chat, that this is going to be the line on the game today, and I'm going to probably, maybe see what the line is when it really is released, and then make a decision from there. Do you guys, what do you guys think of that line? Because Mets, they've lost 4 straight. They haven't looked good at all. But Senga, they've won 8 of his last 11 starts. I mean, he's been terrific. The Marlins obviously have, the ultimate motivation to try to get to the postseason here, but it's not great with Cueto. Okay, Ray says going under my number, 8.5 over. So, okay. So maybe because remember I was already leaning. I was like, yeah, let's get it to 8, and I suggested. Thomas says, 8. That means too high. Yeah, no, I get you. I felt what you were saying. We moved in the right direction. Ray's saying maybe even lower, 8 over 15 or lower, Ray. So I'll leave it at that. We'll move on to game 2. My pick will be based on. You can just take it whatever it is. If it is what some folks have reported as the potential line here in this game, which is much closer to like a pick'em or something like that, then we are all over the Mets. Even as poorly as they've played, I've just got to think that Kodai Senga is out there still trying very, very hard. And he's a pretty terrific pitcher, even against a motivated Marlins team. So I may have that wrong, you guys. Should we move Senga down? Should it be closer to a pick'em? Should it be $1.30 maybe for the Mets? I think Senga is that good even in this spot. So let me compare it to the next game now, game 2. We'll just cover these at the same time. Now, with Braxton Garrett against Joey Lucchesi and the proper motivation, I think the Marlins here will be favored in this one. Maybe it could be a pick'em, but maybe I'm just a bad odds maker. So I'm not seeing really any release prices, or any kind of. Let me see. I always check the network of action. You know what I mean? Let me look at that. Okay. No, they have Garrett at $1.30. Okay, $1.37.5. But do they have the other game? No, the other game they list no line. Okay, so maybe this is what I saw. Okay, so because I write it down and I'm like, sometimes I'm using multiple sources. I try to grab the first line and don't ever. Sometimes you see like yesterday the look ahead. We were talking about look ahead lines, right, in football, and I'm like, I have 14 written down, but I forget that I wrote it down, 10 days earlier or 7 days earlier. And I like to see those look aheads. Now, it's different in baseball. We know that. All right. So here in this one, you've got Lucchesi. He's actually been some of the best efforts of his career here. Maybe he did have one stretch, I remember, with San Diego, of course, but maybe this is even better than 1.96 ERA in his last 3 starts. Mets have struggling, no doubt. And the Marlins have done, an okay. I don't even want to give them that much credit right now. They've kind of choked here down the stretch. They've won 6 of their last 10, and they've won the last 2. But the pressure's on here today in this doubleheader, and I'll just jot these lines down or whatever your lines are, and I guess I can just make picks on them, right? It seems like I like the Mets in game 1 and the Marlins in game 2. So those are my picks. I'll go Mets in game 1 and Marlins in game 2. Oh, Mike. I didn't think of that. Oh, yeah, no, I get it. Okay, let's move on. But that, doubleheaders, sometimes we kind of just pass over them when we did the show, when Mindy and I did the show. The Cubs here will take on the Braves with Jameson Taillon going in this one. And we've talked about the Braves. They've done a nice job here, right? Kind of just biding their time a little bit as bringing, different pitchers in here. We're not seeing all their, and we know they've got enough pitching, even with a few nicks here and there. But here you got Darius Vines going in this one. He's from Oxnard. And he's favored, which, again, the Braves don't have any motivation, but you do have the Jameson Taillon factor here, right? We never want a piece of Jameson Taillon, or do we today? I mean, the Cubs have the motivation here. They still are, no matter how you look at it, playoff caliber. They're in. They're 7 games over 500. They're in right now. They actually, have all the, they win some games quite impressively, quite frankly. So I'm probably going to be on the Cubs here. You got a young pitcher. This is something that Jameson Taillon maybe can handle. The Braves, what's my motivation, Braves? Other than just, that stellar record. But it's not going to be some monumental record. It's just going to be a nice 100-plus win season. And again, when you're starting a pitcher like a Darius Vines here, you're just playing out the stretch, getting pitchers, giving them their moments, giving them their chance in the major leagues to show something so they can become, he had 1 start. He went 6 innings and allowed a couple of runs. So Atlanta's won 4 of their last 5 games. Cubs have won 3 of their last 4. And Cubs need it, obviously. They're fighting them. No matter what, the Cubs win and Miami wins too, they're tied. And so Cubs will be feeling the pressure and following that doubleheader. And I'm going to take the Cubs here with Taillon, with those bad numbers. I don't even want to give them to you. No, I said the good numbers, but the bad numbers is that they just have not won a lot of games with Taillon. And maybe his numbers would suggest that, he's better than his 1-loss record. Maybe he didn't get the run support. But more so, it's been more on Jameson Taillon not ever living up to certain expectations. They're going to need some type of contributions from Jameson Taillon should they make this playoffs. I say playoffs. And remember, there'll be no 1-game playoffs anymore. It's all tiebreakers and stuff. So there is a certain situation with the tiebreakers in the American League, and favor. I want to say they favor Seattle. We're on this game, so let me continue on. Maybe I have it written down somewhere. Nonetheless, the Cubs here for me. I'll take the Cubs against the Braves. It's not even a good. Doesn't even feel like a great price here. What run line? $1.45 or so. But I'm gonna take the Cubs on the run line. And Thomas just go right against me. Remember when Thomas and I would just agree on every game? Seems like for the last week we've been butting heads, Thomas and I. It was probably when I started teasing Thomas about we're always agreeing, and he felt like I was singling him out for just tailing me, which I would be honored if someone tailed me. But I know Thomas is an independent thinker. We were just on the same page for much of the month. But right now, I don't think I'm not paying attention, Thomas. We're clashing on games here of late. But I feel like I'm more crazy. I'm more crazy. You guys know me now. The ones that have stuck here with me. And what I've been doing, a little bit more volatility here late in the season. So I'm willing to, like I said, I was disappointed that I wasn't more dogs. That's why I was I envied our cappers that were sticking to it. And of course, I mean, I've recovered big time here over the last month in my Major League Baseball selections because I've been more apt to play underdog teams or teams without good records and good statistics. but only because I've increased that because I feel like the end of the season has gotten me to that point because I expect more volatility at this point. I should understand that there's volatility in the middle of the season as well, but I just get married to the good teams, I think. So, and the good pitchers that win, that's, what kept me afloat. Can I say that? To allow me to have a great run late. I'd be in the postseason, right? My record would make it to the postseason. We didn't, we struck, we were hot, and we made it through, and then we're in the drive. All right, give me the Cubs here in that one. Here's the A's going up against the Twins. I think like I said, we skipped a game or two. If you guys want it, whatever it was, Royals Tigers, I'm probably not too interested with Royals starting a rookie, probably an opener, and Tigers with Skubal. They're a $2 favorite. I mean, you wouldn't want that. Royals and over. All right, A's and Twins here. Want to say it's that easy in the postseason? It's not, but they're in the end of the season. A's and Twins here, huge favorite, obviously for the Twins. No need to be, I would think, but if the game meant something, they'd be even a bigger favorite. The way the A's have packed it in. Yesterday, the Twins won at 11-3, and they were just going through the motions. It felt like. So easy win yesterday, probably be an easy win today. I would think. I don't think I can get with the A's here. It's going to be a Twins run line spot, and probably played too many run lines in the middle of the season. Too many run lines, period. I'm going to take the run line here on the Twins. Lopez, a 3.79 ERA in his last 3 starts. Twins have won 9 of their last 13. A's have lost 10 of 12. Estes, this will be his second start. Went 4 1/3 in his first start, giving up 6 runs. I'm going to take the run line with the Twins. Probably just mash along. Pretty big move to the under. Let me see here. In fact, I hope I didn't miss any line moves on some of those other games. Just talking along like I am, but I think this one definitely has moved lower to the under 25 now. I mean, that's a whole half a run and then some. So I hope I didn't miss anything on those others. Not going to go back and check, but I think we're taking sides anyways. So pretty big move on the under, and I've got to believe that's I know they scored 11 runs yesterday. I just expect the Twins to score all the runs today, but I don't think it's going to go over. The thing is, these Twins games like this where they've been about favored by this much, but when Twins are consistently favored, we know they're pretty decent at home. 46-33. They usually do pretty well at covering run lines and having games go over. Not the best run line team, but in games where they're considerably favored, not ones where they're laying a run and a half in a closely rated game. So I think if you're talking about this game, Darren, I trust the move. In fact, the move is so solid, I'm going to give it out right now. I'm giving out Twins run line and under for a double play here on the show. We're going to have a graphic soon. Double play. We'll need them when we get to college basketball and stuff like that. I'll be giving out so many picks. Hopefully we will be swimming in the dough like Scrooge McDuck. So I think it's under. I think it's it was a very strong under at 8.5, under 20, under 25. At 8 under 25, it's a little scary here. Nobody will. I mean, yeah, this one's pretty square. I'll just move on. I know that I've seen on a couple shows we've been, talking about going on and laying big favorites. I'm trying to mix in some good dogs here, but this is one. Not too interested after what we saw yesterday. Dodgers and Rockies. You look at what happened in this series yesterday. There's the volatility for you, right? I mean, the Rockies were able to get a low-scoring game in Game 1, and then Dodgers still crushed them in Game 2. So I think anything could happen probably in this game. 210 is actually there's no motivation for the Dodgers, so maybe the Rockies can win here, but it does seem super cheap on the Dodgers to a certain extent with Emmett Sheehan on the mound here. I would almost actually prefer. I might even lay a Dodger run and think that I'm expecting what I saw yesterday. There could be some players out for sure, but we've seen Mookie already rest in the game in Game 2 yesterday, and they busted this big number 11 runs. So that's what it seems like, Mike. But the Dodgers have just constantly gone out there time and time again and still bashed somebody. Now, at least when the Rockies had, I don't want to call Anderson, and what the Rockies did in Game 1, but the Dodgers slept through Game 1. At least this is a night game. Yesterday, they bashed it out yesterday with Miller, by the way. Yeah. So I'm gonna take the Dodgers on the run line here. This might be a lot of runs scored in this game. I don't know if I can use it as a premium. Is it down to 11.5 yet? No, it's 12 over 20 now. It's going up. So give me a Dodger run line here. These are all proceed with caution. This is like some of those contender series bets. You don't know what's going to happen, so somebody would just throw these type of games out. Not me. It's a professional baseball game. We're going to have a bet. We're going to have a pick, but it's going to be the Dodgers on the run line here with Sheehan. If the Dodgers had any motivation, they'd be 250 for sure. So it's baked in the cake, but does it give a little bit of value? I told you they were going to win 11-2. And I just equate it to yesterday as far as the first game. Remember, Caleb Ferguson was up against Anderson. If you looked at the two pitchers, you'd probably, Anderson could probably hang in there. And the Rockies were the ones that did the job, and the Dodgers weren't ready. So I'll take the Dodgers on the run line. I'm square. Call me square today, and that's fine. I was in pocket on the Rockies in Game 1, but tough to give out any plays there. Actually, we did give out the total yesterday on the Dodgers-Rockies Game 2 on our sponsor video on the website, where I give out a pick every day and do a commercial for a website. We did give out the over on the Dodgers-Rockies, so we were able to get something off to you. Always free picks here on the network. All right, so you got a few comments up here for thank you on this game. Hello to Charles today. Nice to see you. How you been? And maybe a little bit of under here. I'm thinking, me and Thomas. I'm not fading Thomas ever. But I'm thinking runs. It's hard with teams not with motivation to come in with a premium in the game, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's not a good play. All right, you got Dunning and Canning in this one between the Rangers and the Angels. The Rangers are embroiled right now in this hot race, and they've done a terrific job as the division leaders. And as I said, I think nothing has changed right now, despite both teams losing yesterday. Talking about Texas, talking about Houston. If you're Texas, if I'm in the back of my mind, I think 2.5 games, yes, you're going to try to put pressure on your players not even sure. 2.5 games is going to be hard to make up. Don't lose this one, Texas. This is a pretty good price on Texas today, man. I don't care. $1.55. I'm super square. I'm on Texas for sure here. Look, they won the game yesterday, or no, they lost the game yesterday, 9-3, with Bradford and Detmers. Don't want to misspeak on a loss like that. But Dunning, a 5.5 ERA in his last 3 starts. Canning, 4.43 ERA in his last 4 starts. The Angels, just 2-7 though for Canning in his last 9 starts. We know the Angels. I mean, they'd still have lost 20 of their last 28 games, and Texas was on a winning streak. I'm not going to let it phase me here. It looks like I'm getting some type of discount at $1.55. It says $1.65 on screen. I'll leave it at that. But does feel, yeah, we know the Rangers, for whatever reason, there is a problem with the Rangers road, and it's a big enough problem that they're not going to be able to get anything done in the postseason. It looks to be really happening. Like the road, but I'm going to try them here at this price. We've got a consensus in the chat. You don't even need me today. You don't even need me today. Feel like we're going kind of chalky on some of this now. But I'm big on motivation. Rangers certainly have it here. They had it yesterday too, but it didn't work out. We'll say Bradford. Definitely don't trust him as much as I do a guy like Dane Dunning. Bradford was kind of like a piecemeal situation for Texas right now with the starting pitching here down the stretch. I know Dunning isn't overwhelming. Canning can be okay, but I think Dunning is a much better option than Bradford. So maybe they can keep that under control today and not let the Angels score 9 runs. Already see a move, I think, to the under, right? Yeah. This total on screen is already, oh no, that's right. 8.5 over 25 or so. But it was, it did open a little bit higher. And even though this might point to an over, man, Texas gone over in 24 of their last 32. I might think that this one might be going under. Not a pick here yet on the show, but I'll take Texas. Astros and Mariners, the other big series here in the American League wild card situation. The Mariners a half a game back right now of Houston. I mean, this is it. It feels like if Toronto's going to be kind of comfortable in their position, these two are playing for the last position right now. And the Mariners got that win. I haven't gotten this series right so far. And that so this one maybe helped me out a little bit in the chat because feels like I'm 0 for 2 getting this one right. And I almost want to switch back now. If the Mariners are going to be a slight dog here, I want to switch. I want to get back on the Mariners. So I lost with the Astros, Mariners win. I lost with the Mariners, the Astros win. In reverse order, but I'm going to end up taking the Mariners, I think, here in this one with Miller against Framber. I think that maybe there will be some runs scored. The total is still 8 under. It's still 8 under 15. Framber has a 4.1 ERA in his last 4 starts, and Miller has a 6.75 ERA in his last 3 starts. The Mariners, I mean, why have they gone through this, late season tailspin? Has it been because of that pitching? But the Astros also kind of giving it away here. So I'm going to be back on the Mariners, I guess, unless you guys can talk me out of it. Thomas is on the Mariners, finally. Ray says the Astros, and that's what I was thinking going into the game too, after they won game 1. Just stick with the metrics here, I think, is what I feel like doing. Or sticking with I've got a game of obvious toss-up game. Why not just take the little bit of plus money? Isn't it a toss-up here? Is Framber that much better? Miller's had some moments this season. Framber does have more. Yeah, he's better as far as more experience and more. I get all that. The number, but the number Miller had some moments. So maybe that's why they're favored. Framber, it's obvious why they're favored because of Framber. Charles is on Seattle. I'm on Seattle here. Give me the Mariners at home. For a little while there, I was hot on the Mariners. So maybe I'll give it a little bit back with them. All right, the Padres going to take on the Giants. Is it worth talking about? Probably not. But I'm just going to take the Giants because, of course I'm going to go against the Padres now after the more drama. The latest story is Josh Hader wouldn't go into the game for 4 outs because the Padres were eliminated from pennant contention. Just basically turned down. The manager said no. Well, he actually calls his own shots. What he's available, when he's available, how long he's available, and he's available for 3 outs. He's never available for really any more than that. Maybe if it was Game 7 of the World Series, I mean, maybe, but not in a game where they weren't eliminated just yet, or the results were like obvious. The Padres were out of it, so he didn't want to come into the game for 4 outs. So and twice actually in the last week, the Padres ended up losing the game. They might end up a game or two short. They might end up winning a bunch more games here now that the pressure's really off of them. And maybe if you can point to one thing, maybe it was just those 1 out, that 1 out that you couldn't get, and then you had to bring in the other game a rookie when you could have went out there, on back-to-back nights or something, and not some rookie getting lit up in the 9th inning. So those are the problems you have when you're paying players, and they, but that's what general managers have to decide. So you can praise them all you want, but again, there's dollars and there's cents, and I'm not talking about pennies. So just give me the Giants in this one. The Padres obviously could care less. All right, appreciate you guys. We're going to go into some football right now for Saturday. If you're interested, stick around. I'm going to be talking about games from the featured part of the card, the 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific window, from mostly major conferences, top matchups. Not all of them, but I think some good ones that we can check out for Saturday. Make some videos here, talk a few games up, starting with game number 133 and 134. And be good if I had the right team in the be good if I could have the right team in the first graphic. If I had the wrong team in a later graphic, I could be just talking and change it, and no one would ever know. But not in the first graphic. That doesn't work that way. So I'm going to be starting in the Big Ten, of course. College football action for Saturday, 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific window in the Big Ten, with Indiana taking on Maryland in this one. Pardon me just a moment. This is 133, 134. The Maryland Terrapins, a 14-point favorite here now, and the total is 50. This one was as high as minus 16. The total opened 52.5 on Sunday when we were on the opening lines show, the Circa numbers, and they opened 52.5 and went down to 51 pretty quickly. And now this total has seen its way all the way down to 50. I don't know if that's necessarily the direction I'm headed with the total. I thought the number was pretty solid, though, right where it started. So I think there's going to be enough touchdowns scored here, at least 6. I think that works out for Indiana in this game. I would think Indiana has a strong chance to actually get the money here against Maryland in this one. It could be a one-score game. I don't know if I was going to necessarily go premium here in this one with the Hoosiers, but I think that's who I prefer. It was a missed field goal at the end of regulation that basically saved the Hoosiers from losing. They were outgained by a couple hundred yards. Maryland, meanwhile, they've scored all those points. So I feel like Indiana can keep up, though, with them. I'm not saying the number should be higher or anything. Thomas says Maryland wins and Indiana gets some money. That would work for me. I feel like that's the way I want to go in this one. Taking Indiana here plus 14 points. All right. And I think we'll leave it at that. Let me call up. I have some other notes here. All right. Here we go. Thank you for your patience on that one, folks. Here's Baylor at Central Florida. Central Florida, 12.5-point favorite. And the total in this one is 55. All right, there we go. Hopefully that's the last interruption. In this one, the total opened at circa 48.5, and it was immediately bet up to 55. They pounded it, obviously. I'm not sure what they're I think I know what they're thinking here, but I'm not sure that I agree with it necessarily. Now the Bears, I mean, look, Baylor there's something wrong here. They're going downhill pretty fast. Their offense does not look very good. They face some good opponents, but to only have 19 points in those games against power conference teams, it's not looking very, very bright here for Baylor. I do want to give them a chance against Central Florida. Like, this is a point. Now with this type of matchup, I think they can get a little bit of a floor here, especially if they're getting double digits. I think that Baylor can hang in a game like this for sure. And I don't know what was it the Sharps that bumped this total up, or what were they thinking? Is it still 57? No, it's 55. Okay, it went as high as 57. Okay, and then it was bought back. I like this. They're not going to score enough points. Baylor's not going to score enough points. They may have enough defense here. They don't stop the run very well, but they might have to run a little bit. We're not seeing Central Florida's passing game exactly what we've seen in the past, right? For whatever reason, it has not looked as solid as what we saw when Central Florida was, and they're still they're still Central Florida. That's why they're favored by double digits here over Baylor. But I'd have to think that this is, kind of a flat point here where Baylor finally, they're 1-3. Central Florida's won a couple of home games so far. But feels like if you're getting some double digits here, I'd probably be looking to, get involved with Baylor. At least at 12, wouldn't mind a couple of at least 14 points, but probably going to have to settle for this 12.5. So I'm going to take the Bears in this one against Central Florida. All right, I want to get to some of the more exciting matchups here with Michigan and Nebraska. I think it's exciting. I think it's exciting. I think there's going to be excitement in Lincoln to have the number 2 team coming in here, and they're not. This is a spot Nebraska probably can handle because this is not going to be pretty. The total looks pretty high, 39. Nebraska's defense is pretty great. To me, it looks like almost like we're back. I say we're back. I know Michigan probably going to get a lot of backing here in this one, but I'm not sure they can score points on the road here like this to win a game kind of going away or something. What are you trying to tell me? I already know I'm going to like the under heavy here. I'm not going to give it out on the show. You have to pay for it. But for me, it looks like more like some of this ugly Big Ten, not pretty Big Ten. Nebraska can't pass at all. They better stop New Michigan, and I think they can. There might be 3 or 4 touchdowns in this game, I would think. So it's a good test. Michigan, Nebraska's not worried about that. They're going to be, kind of looking like old Nebraska a little bit here in this one. I think this game will be like 21-7, 21-10, 24-10, 24-17, 21-10, 21-13, 18-15, 19-16. Yeah, that might be a little too close, but nonetheless, I'm going to be on Michigan here. I'm sorry, the Huskers. I'm on the Huskers in this one. I'm sorry, you guys. I know I'm going to be on an island here, but I love Michigan, right? Is this game that Harbaugh's back, they told me? I'm all about it. Let's scare Michigan. Thomas, I think he's saying how can they get it done here, right? I hope they lose too. This is a game that this game we're lying in the weeds. Come on, Nebraska kind of had to fix some of the offensive. They've had to fix some of this, just some of the execution, right? We're supposed to trust this coaching staff. They're new. They're right. We're trying to get it all back together in Nebraska. We've got a pro coach in here. We'll get it done, right? Nebraska's already won a couple of home games. We know that. Yeah, sure. We beat Northern Illinois, beat Louisiana Tech, but you know what? 3rd home game in a row. We got Michigan coming in. So we're on Nebraska here. Michigan over in 16 of their last 21 on the road, but this is going to be a little bit different, man. Nebraska's gone under in 7 of their last 9. They're always tough they're always tough early in the season, even when the defense starts to break down later on against some of the good teams like this. Right now, I'm thinking we're going to get a low scoring game. The Nebraska can handle it and stay within the number. Stay within 2 touchdowns. That's all I ask. This one did go as high as it opened 19 at Circa and been bought down here to 17. So maybe I'm not getting the right price here. And so I'll just make it my free play because you don't want to be necessarily out there touting Nebraska, but I'm going to be. All right. You got my play on that one. Illinois and Purdue here in Big Ten action. 181, 182. Purdue here. This is an old line. This is an old line, right? There's been a move here. I think we're actually at a pick 'em now in this game. So let's update that because that would be kind of almost CNN-ish. far as breaking news is concerned. All right, here it is. Yeah, Pick'em and 52.5. I may have just copied and pasted wrong. 'Cause I don't think I ever saw 3.5, right? Purdue was a 2-point favorite at most, I thought. But it's definitely a Pick'em now. And the total here is 52.5. And here we go. All right. Illinois and Purdue. Yeah. Opened the circa Purdue -1 and went up to 2 or so. But obviously, we're seeing some steam come in here. In fact, I do see some widely reported steam here in my notes. So maybe that's where the buyback happened. I just didn't have the graphic updated or was incorrect. Nonetheless, Purdue was a short favorite. And I think the move might be warranted here to Illinois in this one. I think Illinois goes in and wins the game, quite frankly, on the road here at Purdue. Illinois, they snapped a 2-game losing streak by beating FAU. FAU, yeah, they have 1 win so far, so I don't put much stock into the victory, quite frankly. In Purdue, they have had a tough schedule, no doubt about it. I'm not saying either team has been, overwhelming here. And you look at the total here at 52.5. Boy, that thing is on. It did go as high as 53.5 and came back down to 52.5. And I like that. I actually want to wait and see if it'll go back down because I'm not sure. I think we could play this game at least to the mid 50s in this game. I'm not looking at it like Nebraska and Michigan Big Ten action. I think these teams are going to have some problems. So looks like this total's actually been all over the place. I might not have just followed it as closely as a professional line screen watcher should. I feel like this one's kind of gotten not away from me a little bit. I maybe was anticipating the move. I'm gonna be going over. It's just a matter of when and where. So maybe I should go. Maybe I should go over right now. I feel like maybe it should be a double play. Let's do it. I'm going to give out 2 plays on this game. I'm giving out Illinois, and I'm giving out the over in this one with Purdue and Illinois. I certainly have this game in the mid, at least the mid 50s for me. So Thomas may be on Illinois here. There was reported steam on Illinois. There was reported steam on the under. So, like I said, maybe it could go. Maybe there's room to breathe. Maybe it will go lower. Maybe I should have waited. But I'm too late. Once I say something on this show, it's official. And if I say it's going to be a premium, it's going to be a premium too. So pay attention. I'm giving out free premiums. Check out my record over at Tony'sPicks.com. And check out those handicapper leaderboards and see who's hot. All right, moving on now with more. Can't handicap just touting your record. You got to break down the game a little bit. I could be on here screaming like a tout at this point. Houston and Texas Tech. Texas Tech a favorite here, 8.5, and the total 51. Oh boy, there's been some breaking news right in this game. Hold on. Not breaking news, but we know that the Texas Tech quarterback now is out of this game. Slow. So the game did go as high as 10, and now it's 8.5. So that was a bit that it opened at 7. I think we knew, right, that he was going to be questionable here in this one, but I don't think it changes. I mean, I kind of already was thinking Houston, and the total, just a total dropper here, man. I might have to give out the total right here on the show because this thing it opened at circa 60.5 and it's now down to 51. I already had it rated only a little bit lower than this number. But I think this situation has changed dramatically here of late. I mean, I don't want to say it's gone too low, but I mean, I feel like low is the way to go. Obviously, the opener at Circa was wrong. I mean, it was immediately bet down to 56. But since then, it's been beat down another 5 points to 51. It still feels like it's going to be a game that's played in the 40s right now. It's not, this isn't some Houston, Texas Tech game from the past. It doesn't feel like to me. Houston's going to be able to compete in this game. So let me just give out the under right now. It got steamed massively to the under, and there's probably not any value left at all. In fact, you might even consider, if you like the over, this is probably your moment. I don't think you can withstand much more pressure to the under. I mean, this has been the massive mover of the week. So, and bad for me. But nonetheless, I want to give out the under right now. I mean, there's nothing I can do. The odds makers, the players have done it. The odds makers have done it. But I still think it's a low scoring game. And once you get down to 51, you could be flirting with a closer number to 49 points. But I'm on the under with Texas Tech and Houston, like a lot of people, I'd say. All right, let's go to some thrilling SEC action here between Georgia and Auburn. And it's got to be a little more thrilling than this, doesn't it? 2-touchdown favorite for Georgia. Don't they know that Auburn is, getting it back together here? We hear this every time, but I'm an Auburn fan. If I had to hang my fandom on one of these two teams, nobody cares about that. I'd be on Auburn, but nonetheless, Georgia probably it's 14.5. It did go as high as 16, but has been brought back down here to 14.5. Steam came in on Auburn initially, Steam came in on Auburn at that peak number to bring this back down. So I kind of was respecting that steam a little bit. And the total here, though, 47. Hey, man, I thought we were supposed to be getting some offense together. Georgia, look, let's just stay for it. They don't look like, national championship Georgia, right? And, I like the momentum that Auburn is building. I'm an optimist when it comes to Auburn football, and I'm a fan of teams more. We talk about, I love watching the other channel. You got one team. I like a lot of teams, and it comes from my history of, relationships with people and just their fandom and their support and all that. So I love Auburn football. I watch it more closely than other teams. And I like them in this spot, but I also think that it's going to be we're going to see some points here. And I love that Auburn is, it feels like some momentum is building right now with Auburn. A little bit, just a little bit, right? We got some positive coaching momentum and all that. And that's sometimes the toughest hurdle. It feels like sometimes at Auburn. They didn't, quite get it started or get it going against A&M, I thought. But, they could shock here. They could shock here at home, I think. And I think they'll be able to score too. So I'm going to be on Auburn here, plus these points against the Dogs. I know I'm against some good cappers in this one for sure, but I'm going to respect that steam. I'm going to take these points. Not even getting the best points anymore, but getting 14 and a hook. And I feel like if Georgia's going to be a little bit down and Auburn's going to be a little bit up, let's take some points here. That's the way I feel about the two teams. And do you guys feel that way? Just me and Thomas basically at this point in the chat. Let me keep these videos going. With Kansas and Texas. Two ways to look at this one, right? I mean, number one, this is, it's still fun to have a game with Kansas, being able to compete against Texas. I mean, that's just in itself is a half a miracle. But also, it kind of goes back to the story we were talking about yesterday with the Pac-12, and it ties into some of the Big 12. We know the teams are going to different places, but the Big 12 is going to be happy to get some of these Pac-12 teams in here. Believe me. I mean, I'm on Texas as far as the season's concerned. I've been touting Texas and loving Texas right now. Good for them. But as a whole, this is a weird situation for the Big 12 to kind of be, But Texas looks, somewhat dominant here, I would think, in this game at 16.5. Now, Kansas has been pretty terrific, and, they cover against Texas a lot, but usually they're getting 42 points, 35 points. Only of late, and the spread's gone down a little bit since Kansas has shown this. And, of course, this year, with the, again, decent team here for Kansas on offense. We know that. They're explosive. They've got a good offense, man. They're fun. They can score against Texas even on the road. I don't think they score a whole lot, but they can, stay in here. But if it's going to be under 3 touchdowns, kind of be ending up on Texas, I would think. Of course, you got the big game on deck, but still, I think the Texas, for me, hasn't reached their, I wouldn't say potential. I think we're seeing the potential, but I think they're still not getting their just due, because there's enough of the crowd out there that wants to still say, Texas is always an imposter. In the back of my mind, I feel that way too. But watching the game, it feels like, no, this is a little bit different. And there is reason to think that there is, right? Because of the way the growth has evolved, the coaching situation and involvement for Texas. Kansas is good. This is great. Like I said, this is great to have them performing this well right now. But for me, it does feel like Kansas. And this total, look, it opened 66.5, has gone down to 63.5. I think the move was kind of warranted, but I want to see where it goes. It could get a little bit wild. I mean, Texas could start giving up some points here. I think we know that they're, good offensively, and they should have better defense in a way. And they're basically, like I said, Kansas can be explosive, no doubt about it. So let me just hold off on the total here, and I'm going to take Texas and lay 16.5. Definitely would get it down to 16 minimum here in this one. Laying 16.5 on the show. That's all I can do. It's not terrible. It's not 17, but if I could take 16, I would. So I don't work it down to 15, right? I work it down to 16. I'm not worried about 15s in margins like that. So give me Texas here in this one against Kansas. Go Kansas. I mean, yeah, Kansas. I hope it's exciting. I hope it's fun. I hope there's a lot of points. I know, and there will be a lot of points, but feels like right now the total 66.5 I could live with. All right. New Mexico and Wyoming, cover a little Mountain West action. That's about as low as I'll go. I don't even think, I just follow it so closely, so I'm probably going to touch on the Mountain West and kind of leave the MAC alone. We'll have plenty of MAC cover. Tony's got all the games for you on the YouTube channel, with all the MAC games as well, all the AACs, all the whatever we got most of all the good ones here for you. So I know they want more. I hear you. New Mexico and Wyoming in this one, and we'll have more later. We're not going to cut off yet, but we'll have some on Saturday as well. We'll get into NFL tomorrow early, or a little bit early slate tomorrow. New Mexico and Wyoming, 165, 166. Wyoming a 2-touchdown favorite, and the total 42.5. All right, the Cowboys opened up a 10 on the show that we did on Sunday with the live betting lines, and was immediately bet up to 11. Since then, it's gone up 3 more points. Some steam came in on Wyoming, and some steam came in on the over. It opened 41.5. Didn't go. It maybe touched 41 for a little while, but then got steamed up to 42.5 here. That's not a lot. Not a lot of movement, I would say, as far as the steam is concerned, on a lower scoring, game that we're expecting a little bit a lower scoring. So, for me, if it gets any higher, I'm probably going to have to take New Mexico in this one. I mean, I know it's not going well right now. I mean, there's no doubt about it. But at 2 touchdowns, I mean, I know everybody likes what they've seen from Wyoming, but this is still and okay, New Mexico, it's been bad. So maybe we shouldn't have covered the Mountain West here at this point, but I want to, and that line movement's going to probably have me on New Mexico. I trust the steam here in this one, and I think it will end up going over here. So let me do that. I'm going to take the over with New Mexico and Wyoming. It's not going to be much over this, that's for sure, but I do trust the movement and the fact that my number is a little bit higher in the mid-40s. I'm never gonna find a premium on this, so I'm kind of looking at the side and trying to find my way to. I'm gonna try to find my way to New Mexico. I don't know if anybody's ever said that, but shout out anybody from New Mexico. Albuquerque is great, though, actually. So, all right, I'm gonna take the over in this one with New Mexico and Wyoming. And touch on one more here in the Mountain West with here in town, Hawaii and UNLV. UNLV favored by 11. $169, $170. There was some steam that came in on the under. The circa number opened as high as 65.5 and was bet down to 62. Now it's found its way all the way down to 59. Any lower, and I'm coming back on. Well, any lower, I'm coming back on the over. I've got Timmy Chang against. I talk about him like he's the quarterback. I think Hawaii. Who's going to win this game? Why is UNLV going to win a game by double digits? Look, we're all happy. Everybody's all happy here. The Rebel, they run, they pass. Okay, it looks good. We'll see, but they're scoring a bunch of points. Still a conference game here. Hawaii's had some trouble against good offenses, certainly, but I think this is going to be a typical. I don't know why the total's going down. Why wouldn't this game be in the mid? Why wouldn't this game reach 60 points? Hawaii's going to get at least 3 or 4 touchdowns, I would think. I don't think UNLV's stopping anybody. They might get a bunch of points too. I feel like the line. It opened 8 at circa, was bet up to 10. Believe it reached all the way to 12.5 and has been bought back here a little bit by some sharp action. I don't know if it's been steam necessarily, but might be a little bit sharp here with Hawaii. That might be the way I'd actually end up looking in the game. So maybe we better now. Maybe we better be on Hawaii right now, actually, and take these 11 points now. If it's been bought back here a little bit, I don't know if it's going to go back to 12. Let's grab 11. I'm going to take Hawaii against UNLV. I can't see a double-digit win in this league, in this conference. I know we're dealing with Hawaii here and all that, and the complexities of Hawaii games on the mainland and all that. They're still taking on a UNLV. This has been neat. It's been nice, and now that I'm experiencing the Rebel experience here, I mean, why wouldn't the team play? I mean, they're playing in a beautiful stadium, right? It's real close to the. I mean, not like they're at the old Sam Boyd Silver Bowl. So I think things will improve for UNLV, but I also trust Jimmy Chang a little bit and what Hawaii might be able to do. Why wouldn't this be just some rando game, 35-31, something like that? I mean, there's this experience high volatility here in this game, Hawaii and UNLV, right? Thomas, you point out if I've got any typos, you let me know. I am a stickler. I'll stop the entire show to get the graphic right. You know that. And I hate when we have a little bit of pause and I'm trying to type the graphic. That's when, see, I'm not even supposed to reference Mindy, but when Mindy would talk, I'd get to update the graphics, and you could just do recorded videos. But I like spending some time with folks. But I'm glad you're here, Thomas, because no one else is making any picks. Ray said UNLV. Thank you, Ray. So maybe they encourage just do the videos for football. Just do the day of the games. All right, Boise State and Memphis. But we can pick up some momentum again. All right, let's look at a couple more here in the next time block, but we're not going to get into the prime time games. Maybe save that. Maybe we can knock a few prime time games out on Friday, and then more on Saturday with the late action. That's how we'll cover it. But you're going to get plenty of free picks from me if you miss the picks. They're recorded for the channel, chopped up. You can just type in the team names and Tony's picks, and you'll get usually a pick from me and a pick from Tony. On mostly, Tony's got them all. All right, Boise State and Memphis here. This one is at 7 Eastern. So was the other two games, by the way, 7 Eastern and 4 Pacific. This is 193-194. With Memphis favored by 3.5, and the total here 59.5. And this one opened at circa 3.5. I did see a line as low as 1. I never saw that line available to me, so I wasn't sure I was trusting it necessarily, but did see. Immediately back to 3.5. I'm not even going to put much credit into that. I feel like this has been. I might have to go back and look at the show and see if it was 1. I'm pretty meticulous with my notes here, but it doesn't matter. I mean, I'm going to be on Memphis. Oh, here's what it was. Thank you. Okay, this was the bizarre mover of the week as far as sides are concerned. Okay, Boise actually opened a 3-point favor. Okay, that's it. My memory escapes me now. I mean, it's only been 4 days. Where are my brain cells, you guys? Boise opened in this game a 3-point favorite, and Memphis has moved to the 3.5-point favorite in this game. So that's what it was. Okay, now I understand the line move. I'm supposed to be the expert at this. All right. Let's see if we can't track that down and see exactly how, the line with line service, I can go in and I can look to see exactly how the line moved and when it moved. So, it doesn't necessarily, it's not, it certainly has to be sharp action, right? I don't think there's any kind of, big time injuries here. I mean, if anything, Boise State has the injury concerns. A little bit defensively, but I warranted this type of movement to 3.5. I mean, I was already on Memphis, so I missed that. Whatever it was a bad line, maybe. Whatever the case may be, I'm not sure, but I never had a shot at that. I wasn't lined up on the app to get that play right at that time. It didn't even come to my attention necessarily when I read it off. I think I just read it off as such and didn't even put two and two together. So Ray's on Memphis. Thomas is on Memphis. I'm on Memphis too, and I'm laying 3.5 points. It doesn't feel like it's a terrible number, actually. If Boise was a 3-point favorite, I think that I'm in that camp, right? So someone just must have pounced on this on a rogue number. Was anybody going to open it up? I'll go back and look and see, right? Because I want to know now. Because remember, I'm also looking, and I don't know if this is one of the lines that we had that was on that had an opener at DraftKings, but what we basically were saying was. This game opened, and remember there were several games where Circa was not towing the line necessarily with DraftKings. They were just open up their line and see if it moved, which is great. I mean, hey, sometimes you want early action, especially those guys. I mean, they're gamblers. Palm and Stevens, those guys are, maybe they're looking to take an action. And they're their bookmaker that goes on Twitter and talks basically is disrespectful to a lot of books. Not very professional, but who says we are all professionals here? All right, let me get back to I'm just taking Memphis. It's not even a handicap, right? I mean, I'm playing the market move. It looks like to me, not getting the best of it doesn't matter. I want to be on Memphis in this game. My numbers are pointing out Memphis is a strong spot here in this one, so. Just going to roll with it. And take Memphis in this one. Feels like a strong play. Yeah, quite frankly, I'm not necessarily worried about this. I mean, my numbers indicate maybe it's a double-digit win. So, look, Boise had the back-to-back wins, right? They beat the Aztecs. They beat North Dakota State. They lost to UCF in Washington. So now the second straight road game, and Memphis just lost. And Boise doesn't run the ball too well, so I would think on the road they're gonna have some issues here. I would think for sure. Memphis could be better on offense, and I think maybe in this matchup they just might end up looking better on offense. But I think Hennigan, I don't know, should have plenty of time. I mean, if I'm Memphis, I'm throwing the ball all over the place. I don't know if it's going to result in an over here. Kind of leaning that way, but the total I have right there. In fact, I mean, it opened 58.5 and went up 60.5 and back down to 59.5. I mean, that's basically what I'm saying, 60 points in this game. Maybe a little bit more, but it just feels like Hennigan against Boise State, they give up a ton of yards passing. So, Memphis, man, this is a premium. What am I doing? This is a premium right now on the show, Memphis. I could have just said that, I could have just said that without all that. I could have just did the handicap and said Memphis. But I try to figure it out. What did I have wrong on the line move? That's live video, folks. I hope it's entertaining because otherwise I'll just do videos. Okay, one more here. Missouri and Vandy. Let's keep it in the SEC with Vandy. Oh, man, it's becoming – you want Vandy to be able to compete in some of these games, man. Another one of my teams. You know what I'm saying? I like Missouri, but I don't like Missouri's, that I like Vandy more than Missouri, all right? This one opened 12 on the Circus show, and we did see it go as low as 10. It's 13.5 now on some widely reported steam on Missouri. So a little bit of a significant move here on that steam. I'm not sure. I want to try to find my way to Vandy. I want to get to the window with Vandy here somehow. Probably could need 2 touchdowns. Probably need 14 points. but I'd be more interested in buying it up to 14 or 14, right around there, get a little bit extra because they can hang in there and they can stay within 2 touchdowns in this game. I would think. I mean, Missouri just finds a way to let teams hang around. Now, the one team you figure will not hang around, right, might be Vandy because they're not getting much done right now. It's painful. I'm not necessarily talking about covering though. I mean, just talking about winning, and you just want Vandy. Maybe when they I don't know, maybe with this whole stadium issue and all that, maybe they'll get their mojo back a little bit after that. Missouri's won 6 of their last 7 dating back to last year, and they have lost 7 of their last 8 on the road, but Vandy's lost 6 of the last 7 meetings against Missouri. Not a great matchup, but I want to take Vandy somehow. As far as the total's concerned, there was some reported steam here on the total under. It's only 55. Not quite sure yet, but that's kind of where I had it. So, not saying I couldn't get involved here still in the total. I do want to. There's a couple things I do want to check out, but you look at Missouri, they have gone under in 7 of the last 8 at home, but Vandy's gone over in 7 of their last 9 at home. So that contrast, I'm just going to take Vandy. I guess all I can get is 13 points here on the show. And I'll be trying to buy it up. Look, that's even heavily juiced to Missouri, so maybe there's some 13.5s out there. But I like Vandy in this one to hang in there with. Missouri has a problem blowing teams out. This is about as easy as it gets. If you're going to blow somebody out, this better be it. But who are they going to blow out? All right, you guys, thank you for sticking around here for a couple of hours with me and listening to me talk about college football a little bit, Major League Baseball. I don't know if there's anything else I can cover for you guys or want to hear about necessarily, so I'll leave it at that and catch you tomorrow. We have more morning steam. We got action for Thursday, including NFL football. Don't forget, tomorrow we'll be here with that big Thursday night game. Get the weekend started. I can't miss an NFL, so where will I go when it comes to the Lions and the Packers? Can't do much better than that for a Thursday night game right now. Sounds pretty darn exciting. So please check in with me tomorrow. Appreciate it. Oh, don't forget, head on over to Tony'sPicks.com where you'll find our premium picks. Those are absolutely our best picks every day over at Tony's Picks. You can use the promo code TonyT at checkout to save 20% off all premium pick packages, including mine, on Wednesday in Major League Baseball. Take a look at the All Cappers tab, then you click on the handicapper of your choice. I'll come up right there. There are all my numbers and all my records so far. NFL, college football, showing profit there. MMA. Here come those other sports I'm profitable in. And you can pick up any of these packages right here, but also have individual packages for the day's action in Major League Baseball. Could I get a 5-pack together? I don't know. Being pretty selective here. It's been working. I want to deal higher volume right now in Major League Baseball, but right in this week, and look, the picks have been good, but it's also all the stars got to be aligned when it comes to the last week of the season, especially when half the teams are out of it, more than half. You know what I'm talking about. And getting that proper motivation and, checking lineups and getting premiums in as early as possible when you really got a crapshoot. I'm not flipping coins here, folks, and I think the record shows that. So please stick with me here on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel. I think you will be glad you did. All right. This is Ramon Scott. Thank you for joining me.